Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena. So we're just doing a bit of a casual playthrough with some Sulla Javelins today. I know I did a Sulla Javelins not long ago, so it's going to kind of be a bit of a similar video to that. I haven't yet got any further, other than having slightly upgraded the headwear and a slightly better shield, which a slight increased missile block chance, so not a bad thing. But we are pushing well on towards the tier 6, the Velites, which I'm quite looking forward to get to. They seem to get up pretty well, some of these guys. And I've really been enjoying playing these Javelins, particularly with Sulla. I think he's a really good commander for what it does, and I think he works well giving that mobility boost that they get. So, yeah, other than that, not really a lot to talk about. We talked about him in a bit more detail in the last video, so let's just hop into a game. It's just going to be a quick one today, so yeah, I'll see you all in the battle. So, we are loading into the Marathon map. Looks like we've got fairly generous matchmaking. We're top tier, mostly tier 5, but a few tier 4s dotted around. Hopefully the enemy has got something like that as well. Where am I going to go? Obviously, I want to be staying with some friendly infantry. What have we got cavalry-wise? 2 units of cavalry on our team. So yes, we want to be staying with some friendly infantry. Make sure we've got some support. I'm kind of tempted by these pikemen here. What else have we got? Some tier 5s over there. Some cavalry there. Yeah, we'll spawn here back at base, and it sort of gives us the option of where we want to go. I'll probably push through this centre bit initially, and then we've sort of got the option to push into the forest if we want to, if there's lots of stuff there. But without knowing sort of where everyone's going to be, it's kind of hard to predict. No heavy artillery on our team, but we have got some light artillery over here. Quite a nice map for them because they can set up here relatively safely and get a good range out of it.
50 lashes.
So just using Sulla's whip and dash to get a bit of speed on. Obviously, I'm sure I said this in previous videos, but obviously you have to activate whip before you activate dash, because dash silences, so if you activate dash, you can't activate whip until dash is over. So if you want to use them in conjunction, you have to activate whip first and then dash. And that kind of works well, quite well because they have a very similar loading time.
We have drawn first.
Ooh, got a bit of a volley off on those mounted warband, although not quite as much. Shame we didn't get all the units to hit. Still, 100 points for the starting game. Got to watch out for things like that. Cavalry is obviously our biggest threat, barring there's no enemy heavy artillery that's going to start lobbing rocks at us. Looks like we've got all the ranged units sort of clustered here. And I could try and move up with the spearmen over there, maybe. Would also be an option, but we've got quite a bit of ground to cover to get that way, so we've got to be a bit careful. Are they? Yeah, multi-AD spears are also going to be quick. Quite a lot of enemy cavalry in this forest. Are they some tier 6s? Some tier 6 Roman cavalry. They'll be in range of those archers. They are. Going to get a volley. It looks like it's mostly cavalry loitering around the forest. This pikeman's doing a good job, keeps moving up, which is nice, which is what we want. We've not been shot at by any enemy artillery yet, so that bodes well, I would say, although we've still got a unit we've not spotted. So we've got to be a bit careful of that. So we've got these Principes we can tend to. There's also a unit of Javelins there, but it's only a single unit, so I'm not too worried about that. Those Javelins are a little bit far forwards. We'll throw a volley in, but we've got to be a bit careful because we're more likely to hit friendlies than we are do any damage. Well, they mostly paid the price, and they didn't do that much damage to the enemy Javelins because they have a reasonable charge deflect, and with the shields it makes them a lot stronger than archer units. These guys are going to be a pain. And let's try and push up, get a volley maybe into these Principes before the Javelins get in. Okay, good. Right, let's turn around, and these archers are now under threat, so we really want to start. Let's get activated prescription as well. We'll deploy a caltrops here. The main thing is trying to get damage onto these enemy cavalry, because we can stand them pretty well, particularly with prescription activated. I can basically weather cavalry without too much trouble, really. Particularly if we can keep throwing volleys at them like that, we should be able to get them before they can damage us. And it looks like they're going to rout. Excellent, and routed. Okay, cool. So let's perhaps get a volley in these Principes. Since they've left themselves a little bit exposed, we'd obviously do a huge amount of damage to them, which is exactly what we want. We're causing a small amount of friendly fire, and we've got to watch out for these guys. So I'm just going to deploy a caltrops so that I can fall back behind, but let's try and keep some pressure up on them. What cavalry are these? Oh, they're the Thracian, they're the premium unit ones. We're causing a small amount of friendly fire, but nothing drastic, considering the amount of damage we're getting into the cavalry, look, and the amount of points this is giving us, it's well worth it. Right, so these Romans are getting a bit dangerously close, and I think I might be being shot at by some enemy light artillery. I am. Which is an interesting development. Just to get some volleys off at these guys, because they're going to start to be a threat to us. They're going to rout. These guys could do with sodding off. The main thing I want to get away from is this light artillery. Okay, let's... And we're routing, which is a bit... Oh, and that's a bigger hit. That's going to be much more painful from the tier 6s. Didn't get a caltrops down in time. That was pretty poor on my part. See if we can get sufficiently far away just to deploy some caltrops and then try and get away from this guy. I'm not going to whip because I don't want us to rout if we can help it. Just get what units we can away from them. And start to get the damage in on these equites. Oh, more enemy cavalry. It is not in our favour at the moment. I don't think we're going to get away from this one. I think this is our bitter end, to be honest. We shall get a few more focused fires out. I find if you target a unit further away, then your units will keep firing even though they're engaged. So you see I'm still racking up damage against these guys even though I am already engaged. But it looks like we're going to rout, so unfortunately we're going to get enough. But we did get over 3,000 points. We're going to focus firing. It's not going to let me... No, it's not going to work out for me. And that, unfortunately, is my end. But we did a reasonable amount of damage there. We were fighting against quite a lot of cavalry. It was a bit hit and miss, and I just wasn't paying sufficient attention to get the extra shot in. Get a few more javelins in. An extra 90 hit points. Woo! And how have we not routed yet? Oh, there we go. Okay, well, that wasn't too bad. And it looks so far like the battle is tipped in our favour, so we might be able to pull this one back. It would be good if we could. Yeah, we were contending against quite a lot of cavalry on their team compared to how many we had. You know, there's sort of at least 3 or 4 different cavalry commanders compared to our 2, which kind of made it a little bit difficult, I think, for us to fight off there. It's a shame I didn't get a caltrops down against those enemy equites as they charged in, because that would have completely broken their charge. But just wasn't paying enough attention, didn't see them coming in. But still, yeah, so I kind of that was quite a good video in the sense that it showed that javelins really aren't vulnerable to cavalry in the same way that archers are. Not only do they have the good shields and a much better charge deflex, so they don't take us so much damage in that initial impact. They also do, you know, a lot more damage against cavalry a lot quicker with the javelins, which kind of means that you can fight them off fairly well, particularly with Sulla because you can activate prescription, which really lowers their melee attack, makes it kind of hard for them to do that much damage to you quickly. And if you saw there, once you're in a group fight with a group of people over here, if you can get your units to target an enemy that's more distant, then your units should continue to throw javelins even when they're engaged in combat. And most often, because those javelins have quite low arc, they'll hit those enemy cavalry that are engaging you. And, you know, a lot of the time, if you've got full strength units, you can beat the enemy cavalry as long as they do too much damage in that initial charge. And you also got your caltrops to deploy to try and break that initial charge as well. So, yeah, I find javelins to be pretty resilient against cavalry, considering how vulnerable they're supposed to be. So yeah, I think they work kind of well. It's like our architects are on the retreat. Looks like we should have this one in the bag. I think we're sufficiently in our favour now to be able to win this one. These are the guys that finally finished me off, but we still managed to do, you know, a good couple of thousand damage against them. Even that was after like the 3rd cavalry charge we'd received. So they are quite effective. Like they're engaging against the mounted warband as these pikes are going to come in. I suppose these guys didn't go for spears. There they are. That's what they want. That'll be a lot more effective against these guys. Soon start nibbling away at their health pretty quickly now, and they are well doomed. Although they're going to receive a bit of friendly fire if they're not careful. Those guys are beating those principes. What's going on down here? A couple of foot companions against some Macedonians. Well, that is all chaos, isn't it? But it looks like our guys are winning, really. And we've got one of our teammates is going for base. It's a Miltiades versus a Leonardus, so more of a mobility versus sort of more defensive unit. Looks like they're trying to pull back. Because they know they're under threat. I mean, they have unfortunately lost this. Oh, there's another one there as well. Leonidas versus Leonidas. You'd think these guys sort of in a much stronger unit, a higher tier unit and in formation will be able to win that one. See how that pans out, although these guys are backing off. They're going to get rear-flanked if they're not careful. These guys look like they're going to rout. They're only on 3. Although they've got fear from Miltiades activated. I think that's the only units remaining really, bar that little bit of cavalry which is now dead. Yeah, it's just these 2 units left to go. And then it's all over. Well, they've activated fear, so they're going to rout. And then I would have thought these Miltiades will just activate break ranks, which they have, so it'll give them that massive speed bonus. But that plus 17% movement speed, which is exactly what they want. And they should be able to catch these guys quite effectively in the pincers. That damage going down fast. Even with their morale recovering, they're not going to get back in time for this one. I say that, I shouldn't have thought they will do. I think they'll rout entirely because their health's going to drop too low in a minute before they get back into morale fighting. So they're still there. But it looks like these guys are pushing into the side of these. Guys should rout -7. They've got the fear. Fear is a really effective. -35 morale is pretty brutal. And they're going to get rear charged by cavalry. -10. They've even got hold the line activated. It's still not enough to keep them. Oh wow, they're completely surrounded. Even with some light artillery bolts coming in from somewhere. Oh yeah, over there. Come on, just die. And we can look how we did on the points. Now that guy racked up a lot of aggression points. He resoundingly beat us. And any second. There we go, victory. Okay. Well, yeah, hopefully that highlights sort of how javelins can be pretty resilient. I think javelins are pretty strong in the current game setup. I certainly recommend going down them. We have just had this weekend the javelin bonuses, you know, discounts off the various units. Shame I didn't really get to take advantage of it as much as I would have liked to, but I'm certainly going to be playing these a little bit today. Well, I'm going to be screaming shortly as well, so we'll hopefully be trying to get onto the Velites tier 6 pretty soon, because these guys look pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to playing them. So, thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Should we just have a quick look at the stats? Looks like we didn't do too badly. This poor guy didn't get any aggression points at all. Yeah. Pretty good breakdown of points, pretty good silver running, and pretty good experience. Yes, so thank you for watching, guys. If you've liked it, please give the video a like. It really helps the video out. Subscribe to the channel for more Total War Arena content. Thanks, guys. I shall see you all on the next video.